Alright, so in this video the breadboard is now set up like the updates that I did. Instead of actually having individual LEDs, all you need to do is plug into the columns above. Alright, so what we're going to do is create a push button which will switch on a device, and then if we push it again it will switch off. So for starters, we're going to add a push button. Now we're going to rotate that and put that on the board. We're only just using the 2 pins. Okay, so they've highlighted green there. So that means they've actually connected to the board. Alright, make sure you look for that. And we're going to add in a resistor. Rotate that a bit. And that's going to go to the ground and to the pin. Make sure the ends highlight. Now we need this resistor to be a 1 mega ohm. So we'll go to the JSON diagram and we will change that to 1 million. Okay. And the other end of the push button is going to be to the positive rail. Right. We will then take the input signal of that and we'll plug it into D2. Now if we click on the wire, we can actually slide it across there so we can see what we're doing, or we can just slide it to the other side. And we want an LED to switch on. So I'm just going to plug that into D3. Okay. So let's start up with, we need to set up the void. Alright. So we're going to make an output on pin 3. So pin mode 3 is going to be an output, and pin mode on 2 is an input, because that's where the signal from the push button will be going into. And we're going to make another void for the main one. And we'll put our code inside of there. Alright, so let's get started this one. So if digital read on pin 2, alright, because that's where the input signal is going into, pin 2, if that is equal to, notice the double signs there, high or a 1, I want it to do something. Alright, so what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to switch on the LED. Right, so we're going to go back up to the top code here, and we're actually going to make a global variable, and it's going to be Boolean. Now Boolean means it's either 1 or 0 or true and false. So we're going to do LED light is going to equal a 0. So therefore it's going to be off when we start it off. However, if we want the LED light to switch on, we need to change that to a 1. So the LED light, which currently has 0 at the start of the program, what we want it to do is to be equal to the opposite, so we use an exclamation mark there, LED light. Don't forget the semicolon there. And we want to take a bit of a delay of 250 milliseconds to stop with any bouncing. Alright, so now we want to put the output onto the LED. So we want to digital write to pin 3 where the LED is hooked up to, and we want it to not high or low, the value that's actually stored in the LED light variable. Now if I do Alt-Shift-F, that will fix up all the formatting, and if I run it now, switches off, switches on, switches off, switches on. Alright, now sometimes if the LED is broken, how do we know that the circuit's working? So we're going to add in a diagnostic tool. So we can actually get the computer to send me messages. So we're going to do serial begin at 9600, so that's the baud rate in which data is transmitted. Okay, and then I'm going to do this. So serial.println, so that's going to put an enter after it. The LED light value. Alright. Now if I run this, you can actually see the monitor window open up. And you can actually see the ones and zeros which are corresponding to the output. Alright, so let's go over to and wire this up. Alright, so let's actually wire this up. You've got a push button here that only has 2 legs on it. So we're going to place that somewhere on the board. Then we're going to get our 1 mega ohm resistor, and that gets plugged into ground and to the other side of the switch here. Now the other side of the switch will go to positive, and that is my standard push button switch. The signal from the diagram comes from the top of the resistor, and then that goes into pin 2. So if I move it out of the way, you should see that. And the output from the LED, or output from pin 3, will go to the LED. Alright. Now if I hook this up, now when you're in the Arduino IDE, if you go up to here, there's the serial monitor, and also you've got the serial monitor there. So you'll see that appear down the bottom. So now when I push the button, you'll actually see real-time code come out from your display.